Alright guys, if you haven't already, do us a favor, hit subscribe. Also hit the bell icon anytime you want to be notified of us uploading anything that's saddle hunting, or in this case hunting related. Scott and I have a lot of videos showing arborist climbing methods like DRT and SRT for saddle hunters, but it's not just for saddle hunters. We've been hunting on public land for years, and a lot of spots, if you're somebody that likes using a fixed position lock-on stand and leaving it in the spot, you have to worry about people stealing them, and on public land you can't use screw-in steps and that sort of thing, so you'd have to use climbing sticks to come in. But we're going to show you how you can use some arborist rope climbing methods. Today we're going to just demonstrate using DRT climbing, and how you can hang your sets, how it makes it easy to hang the sets, and then by using a preset paracord loop you can gain access to that tree and always have a way to get in and out without carrying in heavy sticks and using steps, buying steps to put in. We used to, on private land, we would use screw-in steps and leave them in all our fixed position sets, and it would add up. We'd spend maybe $100 a year on screw-in steps just to leave, out in our spots. If you do this, you won't have to do it. You're not going to have to do it. Plus, you're not going to hurt the tree and that sort of thing. So Scott's going to demonstrate how he can climb up, set a stand, and then how you can just climb up and down using this method.
Yeah, it's and I feel it's so much safer. I mean, as a person, and I guess Joe now, he's using this method now too, and he can attest to it also, is that it was always, when you set your stand, you were up on your last stick or your last screw-in steps, and even though you had your lineman's belt around the tree, and it was always that 1 minute there or whatever, 15, 20 seconds there where you stepped off of that stick onto your set, and you were hoping.
That's the scary
part. You were
part.
like, from year to year or whatever, if the stand's 5, 10, 15 years old, that was always the scariest point. You were always like, man, I hope everything's going to work out. I hope this is all going to hold. Well, this method that we use now for saddle hunting, it's just a really safe way. If you guys are using this also, it's a great way to hang your lock-ons in the woods now, because now you're already safe. So God forbid if a strap broke or something gave way, you're not going to the ground, Right. And then if, in the other aspect too, if you want to leave your set in there, now you come down on your rope and your set's up there 15, 20, 18 feet, whatever, and nobody's got a way to get to it,
Yep.
I don't know, it just, I think it's just a safer way to do it. It's you're up there, you're working with two hands, but you're totally safe. You're not up there balancing on the top of the last rung on your stick or the last screw-in step. I just think it's much safer.
Like we spoke about, if you don't have a saddle, rock climbing harness will work in the same instance. That could act as a safety belt while you're up there.
Yes,
also.
Absolutely.
It's actually a lot more. I would think rock climbing harness is. It's a smaller profile, so it's almost like you're more agile out of a rock climbing harness than you would be out of a safety harness.
Right, and then you can do,
and they're as safe.
Right,
absolutely.
And you can hunt it if you do choose to hunt with this rope. Then you can hunt it in both styles. Now you're taking what would normally be a lock-on, and you only have 180 degrees to hunt with. Well, now. You're sitting in your saddle and you're on your lock-on platform, now you got 360 degrees, Yep. The only thing I would mention too, and I don't see it here, with this Hawk Helium, I usually have another strap that goes around the tree and connects in low.
Yeah.
I would definitely suggest using that, because the one thing you really don't want to do with a lock-on, you really don't want to side load it, too much pressure, because more than likely it will move. But if you do put that second strap and take that up, even in the mornings maybe you don't want to do that with a ratchet strap or anything like that and make that noise. But if you're just setting your stands, if you're out in the woods, and you say, all right, a month before the season, whatever, and we're just setting stands today, get a good strong ratchet strap, ratchet that thing in there, man. Then I think you can probably apply a pretty good amount of side loading pressure, and it's not going to move on you. But anyhow, I'm going to get up there and just kind of show you.
Yeah, he won't have to go too high. He'll just for a demonstration
just to
purpose.
Demonstrate it, right?
Just go up a couple of feet and show you how he does it.
All right.
Now he's climbing using a DRT method with a hip. This is with a hip thrust. This is the traditional method. A lot of people look at this, and we get a lot of comments on this, and they say, "Oh, it's going to be too hard. It's going to be, you're going to sweat." Now Joe just learned how to do this literally a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And your honest opinion, you learned it the very first time you did it.
I watched while we were scouting. I watched you guys climb up 2 trees. We went back to my house. I put the saddle on and
up he went.
Up I went, and it's been every day. I've been climbing up in a tree this way, shooting out of it. I actually practice regularly out to 50 yards, shooting out of the saddle, and I gotta be honest, it's one of the most comfortable ways of hunting, and by far the safest feeling way of hunting that I've done in 35 years.
Yep. And as far as difficulty climbing using DRT with the hip thrust, how difficult?
Not hard at all.
Yeah.
Not hard. Everyone needs to try it to realize.
Yeah. And when you look at it, everybody says they look at it, and say, "Oh, it's hard." And I get it. I felt the same way.
Yeah.
But it's really not hard once you learn how to do it. Now, and that's DRT. You could also do SRT, which is even easier,
right.
But it's a little bit more of an investment. It's an awesome way to climb as well. So you can explore these methods, but listen, if you're going to be climbing trees, doesn't it kind of make sense to look at what professional arborists, they use it every day to climb, and there's a reason. So we're climbing trees, and if you climb like a pro, you're probably going to be safer and more efficient. So it kind of makes sense.
With setting the tree stands, I mean, it happens a lot around here. I know through the years I've probably had 15 to 20 tree stands stolen.
Yep.
With screw-in steps or what have you. This way, you can leave the stand in the tree. They're not getting.
They don't have a way to get to it. It just makes it that much harder. They'd have to come back with
coming in with
sticks.
25 whatever, however they're gonna get up into there.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so just a little quick tip here too, and I would do this, even before I was saddle hunting. It was just a way to ensure that you always had 2 hands doing the job of it. I would take these loop runners. You can buy these at any arborist supply, and they're very cheap. And the nice thing about it is you get a couple different sizes, and it'll accommodate different diameter trees.
Yeah, that particular one he's using there, you can even buy that one right on Amazon. That one's made by Black Diamond.
Yeah.
So they're pretty cheap.
For like a 3 foot and a 4 foot, you're probably covered for any width tree.
Yeah, they come in different lengths.
Yeah.
So I would just girth hitch the tree like I did right there. Here, so get out of the way. And that carabiner here is just going to hold my stand while I put the strap around the tree.
And he's using the rope that he climbed up on to pull up his stand. This has always been the hard part for, think about when you're hanging a stand, a lot of times you're on steps. You got one, if you're using a lineman belt, which you should be, you can still work hands-free, but you're still kind of limited to one side of the tree. When you're using DRT or SRT, you can literally spin all the way around the tree safely. So right there, he just kind of he hung up his stand. Now it's going to hang up there where he can work completely hands-free and position his strap on it.
much it. So like I was always talking about that part when you get your stand hung, and now you had to step off your stick or your steps to actually get into the stand. Now you're already got this safety line above you. So God forbid this thing was to kick out or cable snap or anything like that, you know, you weren't going anywhere.
Yep.
You know?
I mean, I've seen climbing sticks kick out on you, slide.
You know, now you can sit here and, you know, being very safe. Put some weight on that thing before you actually, you know, like you said, if anything happened to it, I'm already on my rope here.
Yep.
I'm already safe.
Yep. And there's a lot of, you know, if you're not a saddle hunter, you know, you can do this. And like you said, even with a rock climbing harness or something, you tether in and listen, that deer's on the wrong side of the tree. If you're tied in like this, you can get to him. Scott, show him how you can get around that tree if you were, you know, just like even in a hunting situation.
Right.
If you were, you know, tied in that way, or with a rock climbing harness tethered to the tree itself, off the same tether you'd use for your hunter safety system when you tether to the tree. If you had a rock climbing harness, it's like it can almost double as saddle hunting in your tree stand.
Right.
This would be for instance, if Scotty had a deer coming in, say right over here, he's left-handed.
Right. Right, exactly.
If he's only in the tree stand, he can't get a shot.
Right.
Right.
Can't get around.
Now what can you do? Show what you can do when you have this, when you're...
Now with this system, and I mean what I would normally do, if I was going to hunt from this stand, I would, you know, because now I'm in the safety pretty much of my tree stand, I would slack the system off, because, you know, I don't want it out here in front of me, of course.
Yep.
You still can get a shot off that way, but now, like I said, with it slacked off, you know, I'm shooting to here, you know, okay, but now, you know, that deer's coming down off that hill behind me. I see him coming in from behind me. Not a nice thing I can do. Now sit back into my saddle, you know, and now I'm coming around, and now I got a shot right at him. So now I can cover 360 degrees all the way around this stand, just like I would do in a if I was hunting out of a saddle. All right.
Yep.
And the nice thing is, all my weight is in the saddle. So really, right now, and I don't have that strap on, but I'm not really side loading the stand right now. You know, I'm putting very little pressure with my feet. Everything's pretty much in my seat, so I can still cover everything out to here. Come around with it. Cover everything out over to here.
Yep.
And then, like I said,
and you can
go back to sit, you know, to sitting, slack off on your rope. All right.
Boom.
Boom. Grab my bow, and I love shooting sitting down.
Yep.
And I mean, just, you know, now I'm covering everything right here. And the nice thing too is, I'll tell you, like I said, I was showing you about this. You take some tension up in this thing, right? Okay, now I would always get a little leery, you know, when I had that safety belt behind me, leaning out like this into it. I don't worry about this at all, you know. Yep. Now I'm leaning right out. I just draw my bow back. You know, nothing, that rope is not in the way anymore. It's not interfering with anything. And I'm leaning right into this. And it makes you rock solid.
Yeah. Just to point out, like right now, we're just kind of fooling around here demonstrating. He's got his climbing line kind of hanging down. He would normally have that wrapped up and tucked in his pack, so it's not going to be...
pack just like we do when we saddle hunt. We roll it up and put it in our pack, put it away, so we're not leaving this scent wick on the ground.
Right.
But this is, yeah, like you say, this is just pretty much showing what you can do, what you can do with these two applications.
Yep.
With the rope climbing application, whether it be DRT or SRT.
Yep.
And in a fixed position stand, and everybody's got them.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, so you can kind of combine the two.
Another element to it. You know?
If you're somebody that hasn't gotten into saddle hunting, maybe you don't want to. Maybe there's guys that, the stands have been, guys have been using stands forever.
Right.
And you don't want to go down the saddle hunting road.
Yep.
However, you can get the best of both worlds. Get yourself a good rock climbing harness. You can get a good rock climbing, like a black diamond rock climbing harness for about $50 or $60.
Sure.
That can be your safety harness,
That's
and it
right.
almost acts like a saddle. And you use this rope climbing method just to tie in like this, or even just to tether in.
Right.
And now you can sit into that rock climbing harness and have the best of both worlds. You can
Right.
tree stand hunt and basically get the same thing as a saddle hunter,
Right.
because that rock climbing harness is going to give you that. But instead, you're sitting on your tree stand instead of into the saddle the whole time. But hey, the beauty of saddle hunting is it gives you that 360 degrees all the way around the tree. So you'll have the best of both worlds. And if you utilize these rope climbing methods, it's going to really open up a whole world for you as far as not having to use sticks, steps, buying screw-in tree steps, that sort of thing.
And the safety aspect.
The safety aspect of it.
Listen, you come off your tree, all right? I'm not going to the ground.
Yep.
Okay, you come off your stand, You never, you're just not going to fall to your death.
Yep.
Or get maimed, Something happens.
And your stands will still be there every time
That's
you go
right.
back in.
Right.
Yeah, you leave your stand 20 feet up, and what we do is we'll put a piece of paracord up over the limb. We'll leave it there, and that's what we'll use to pull our climbing line up in, and then we climb up into the tree, and your stand will be there all the time. We still have some stands on public land that we've hunted for years. We left them in there, and that's how we can get in and out of them. All right, guys, we just wanted to touch on one last aspect of this DRT climbing, SRT climbing, even if you're using it with a tree stand. I want you to think about those times when you're sitting in your stand. It's been a long day. The sun's going down. You're freezing cold, and now it's time to pack up and get out. And I don't know about you, but for me, that first step onto my steps when I'm freezing cold and tired in the dark, sometimes it's a little bit scary. And using these Arborist rope climbing methods, we're going to show you how quick and easy you can get down and out and make your life easier. So check this out. Watch Scott how he would come out.
So, where's my rope? Here we go. All right. Getting down doesn't get any easier. What I would normally do, take my pack off, I'd have my pack on my back.
The rope would be wrapped up in his pack typically when he's in the tree.
Just tie your bow off.
Lower the bow down.
That's it.
Bow's down, and
Slack
now
up. And now what you're doing, you're not having to come down slowly, grabbing cold sticks with frozen hands. You're just gonna come right off your rope.
fell down.
That's it.
That's it.
You're
You
done.
fell down to the base of the tree.
Or, for instance, is when you kill a deer. You kill a deer and it's getting dark. Come down out of the tree. Go take care of the deer. Don't worry about your stand, because now there's no access for anybody to steal your stand. You come back the next day if you got to get your stand out or leave it or whatever you got to do. But it's just a really nice way. It's a good alternative to what we would normally do for like the last 30 years. This is just something easier, quieter, safer. It's a good way to do things.
Yeah, and it's keep in mind the amount we carry 75 feet of 11.4 millimeter Samson Predator climbing line when we're doing the DRT climbing method, and you're talking about it's about 4 pounds of gear. If you're using a fixed position set and you have it all preset and set up, you're talking about 4 pounds to carry in and out,
right?
Rather
And
than
even
carrying sticks.
With a loaded pack, if you have, this in your, counting everything else that you would have, which you grunt calls, mind you, maybe rattling antlers. If you pack water with your food, so basically your pack is maybe 12 pounds.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
That stand right there is 12 pounds.
All right, guys. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys like these tips. If you guys have any questions or any videos you'd like to like us to make, put them in the comments section. We appreciate you watching. Make sure, if you haven't already, to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and also send us a friend request on New York Saddle Hunter forum on Facebook, and this way we can all stay in the loop. We appreciate you watching. Climb safe and best of luck.
Good luck, guys. Thanks.